2, on.
Yeah, buddy. Welcome back. Welcome back, y'all, to another edition of All in Sports. I'm your man, Lee Ice. I got my brothers with me. You see BC throwing up the deuces. And the man you can't see, but you always hear, my man Hill, better known as, what they call him, BC?
Big Dog!
The Big Dog!
What's up,
You know
fellas?
what I like to do.
Hey,
like
hold on, Leroy.
Uh-oh. The Big Dog
BC, new name is BR.
BR.
Ben Rico. Okay? That's his new name. So you lost your title as Rico, Leroy. So Ben has your new title now.
I'm the new Rico.
You're the new Rico now.
Ben Rico?
Ben Rico. BR. No BC. BR.
Hey, man, that sounds like somebody got cheated on some soap opera stuff.
Yeah, it's something like that, you know. Yeah.
Ben Rico.
Ben Rico.
Oh, your wife.
Nah. I was with Jada. I had some entanglements. That's all it is. I had some entanglements. It's all good.
Oh shit! An entanglement.
Yeah, you gotta watch some entanglements.
All right, y'all. Let's get rolling. As always, I'd like to thank everybody, or should I say everybody, for tuning into last week's show. And again, thanking everybody for tuning into this week's show. And like I always say, I hope we can entertain y'all during these corona crisis. BC, you know how we get
Before we get started,
okay.
I've been getting this request, so I got to get it out now before I forget. We got to give a shout out, even though he a Cowboys fan, we got to give a big shout out to my man Coop. You know what I'm saying? He's been rolling with us from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? When we was a 3-man to a 2-man to whatever, you know, he been ride or die. So I got to give a shout out to Coop. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're taking care of things, making sure you're doing things. And then Lee Ice, I bring the stage back to you, bro.
Shout out to Coop, or as we call him sometimes, Lamar Coop DeVille. You didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know that.
You ready to get things started, bro?
Let's do what we do, man.
What you got? I see the red cup.
I got some vodka today. We doing vodka and some
and I'm on gin. Gin is my chill drink for the summer. Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Got mine chilling on some ice. Goes down real smooth.
If I knew I was going to be Ben Rico, I would have bought some tequila for this week. But I didn't know.
Rico.
So
hey, man, that has a flow.
Ben Rico Perez. Because you got to have 2 last names. You got to have 2 last names when you in that world.
Hey, man, that has a flow to it. Ben Rico. What's the last name? Perez?
Ben Rico Perez, dog.
DRP.
That's it, baby. Let's make it happen, baby. So
you ready to go? You ready to go all in, Ben Rico?
Hey, I'm ready to go all in, baby.
All right. Y'all know how we get things started with the All In Sports State of the Union, brought to you by yours truly, the best there is, the best that done it, the best there ever will be. It's the Big Dog.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to start off with Major League Baseball with breaking news already, where Canada has denied Toronto for playing baseball in Toronto, in Canada this year.
Canada.
Yes, sir. Canada.
That even gets stickier. I said that gets stickier now.
Why you say that?
Canada's not allowing immigrants or people to come into the country.
Right.
Where's the NHL 2 hub supposed to be?
That's Edmonton.
Toronto.
And let's stay on the Canada theme, where the Canadian Football League team, the Edmonton Eskimos, will be changing their name after they made the same quote earlier this year in February about not changing their name. So they will be changing their name sometime during the course of this year.
I got a
How
name
you feel about that?
for them. They should change their name to the Edmonton Moons in honor of their greatest player ever, Warren Moon. I'm just throwing it out there.
That's the way you want wearing that bullet stuff today. You just on the mood today. You got old names. You got a defunct team on your chest, and now you're trying to change the name of the Edmonton Eskimos to the Edmonton Moons?
Warren Moon, the greatest Edmonton Eskimo to play in their history. Five great cups.
No team has ever been named after a player. Come on, dog. You're killing me, Smoke.
But you could still say the Moons with the stars. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It works. What you think, Big Dog?
No, don't get Big Dog involved. This is real simple.
You can't get my brother some love, man.
Hold on. I'm going to quote a great movie, The Sandlot. My man says, "You killing me, Smalls." That's what you're doing right now. You're killing me, Smalls.
The Edmonton Moons.
That's how you feel, Smalls. Edmonton Moons?
Yes.
Killing me.
So, all right. National Hockey League news. National Hockey League opens up training camps Monday. Any words on that, fellas? How you feel about that?
I'm ready, man. I got my Ovechkin jersey. I'm even thinking about trying to make my last name a little bit Russian so I can fit in with the rest of the Caps. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I could be Count King or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Ben Rico.
That's for the Spanish family. Well, I'm gonna try to get me a Russian name so I can equal this whole thing out.
They don't go together. Ben Rico wrote Volkov. I mean, what?
Hey man, no, the Rico leaves then. When I mean, it's like almost different personas, you know, because you don't call Bruce Wayne when he Batman. So when I'm Ben Rico, I'm Ben Rico, and then when it comes to hockey, I can be Ben Ovechkin or something. You know what I'm saying, player? We got this today. We doing it.
We doing this today?
Yep.
Do you hear this man tonight here?
What's
in that cup, man?
There's something in that cup. There's definitely something in that cup. All right, from college football news, the NCAA football, the Patriot League now has canceled their season in fall sports. Also, the MEAC has also canceled their football season in fall sports this past week too. Any comments on that, fellas?
Yes. I got one comment, and it's going to be, this might get me some email, some DMs, whatever, but if I'm a top-tier athlete in this country, I'm not going to a HBCU because they don't have the programs. They're already canceling all their programs. So you got to go somewhere where it's big enough and it runs the state so you can get your shine, so you can get a contract. You got to be in the league you got to be here for 3 years. So you got to make the most of those 3 years right now. And with the coronavirus going on, I'm sorry, but you got to move to a spot. And, like, I think this kid, whoever the kid is that declared to a HBCU, he going to have to he going to have to decommit. Because there's no way HBCU going to play. So you might as well go to the SEC where they pay for play. And probably he didn't have the right person running his recruiting because he should have gotten a bag. I'm sorry. He shouldn't have got a quality education conversation from the guy that was recruiting him. And if he didn't have that, then there's a problem at home. That's all I'm going to say. BC out.
Hold up. Let me get this straight. A quality education. What is it?
Yeah, quality education conversation.
Quality education conversation.
Well, if Nick Saban comes in the room and tells you that your son can come to the great state of Alabama.
Hey, fellas, we got to keep on moving. Moving. Let's go to the National Basketball Association. I definitely want to hear your comments on this. Mark Cuban delivered a message to Dan Snyder, you need to accept your mistakes. How do you feel about that after what he did like 5 years ago?
PR 101. Yeah. That's PR 101 says you got to own up your mistakes, admit you're wrong. And if you ever been the guy and you cheated on the girl, it's the same situation. You got to own your mistake up front, confess to it, and then see how it works out afterwards.
My man Dan can't win either way, man. He could have came out and said, my bad, it's all my fault, and people would have got on him even worse.
Also, go ahead.
Wait, I'm sorry. No.
More National Basketball Association news. Scottie Pippen said LeBron James is not the guy to lead the Los Angeles Lakers. It's Anthony Davis.
I agree.
That's ugly on both parts because Scottie never led nobody nowhere. But to his point, I mean, I'm not so like I tell anybody, LeBron can't be in any conversation about the Lakers until he wins the title.
100.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Also, now the National Football League, a subject we will be getting into about the Washington football team later on. But I did tell you there was some stuff coming out last week on the episode of All In Sports, and now the stuff is out. To my sources, there's more stuff to be let out. It's going to be at a later time when the gag order expires. Any feelings about that as we get into that subject later on?
Is that a pun?
Yeah. We'll jump into that subject later on. I'm sure me and Ben Rico got a lot to say on that.
Okay.
Yo, if you're going to refer to me, please do it correctly. Ben Rico Perez.
Okay.
Let's go.
Also, from the National Football League, the Madden ratings came out this week. Some people were upset. Some people were not.
I'm upset that Henry Ruggs got the fastest rating for receivers. But it's all good because when it all comes out, the NFL Rookie of the Year is going to be Jerry Jeudy. So it's all good. So
you think so?
Oh, I know so.
Okay, Ben Rico Perez.
It just shows you where we are today when players are more concerned about their damn Madden rating than what a damn coach said.
Ooh, I feel a little fire right there.
I think we got something here, Hill.
He a little fire. From CBS Sports, CBS Morning News this morning, they reported that the Warriors are the front runners. Not the Warriors, excuse me. The Red Wolves are the front runners for the new name, according to U.S. Patent. But the Washington football team will have problems getting the name because there's a gentleman in the Washington, D.C., Virginia area that has patent 22 names that the Redskins or the Washington football team could have had. Any things about that, fellas?
Yeah, because he claims, we're going to use the Austin Powers air quotes here, he claims that he will be willing to give up the names without any hassle or any headache. Yeah. So that's what he claims that he's going to do. But we'll see.
Yeah, I heard him say that too. So they can have it for free.
Right.
Sure.
No, they're going to pay at least $3 million for it, or he'll get some kind of percentage of the team.
He said for free.
Yeah, I know. All right, fellas. That's been the State of the Union. Oh, hold up. We got action going on right now. By the time everybody sees this, it will be Tuesday, but we do have some sports going on. MLS on Fox tonight. Got golf going on CBS. And tomorrow, NASCAR and more golf and more MLS. And UFC going on.
Baby.
And UFC. So that's the State of the Union.
All right, y'all. That was the State of the Union brought to you by the Big Dog. It's time for us to take a break. When we come back, we will go more All In. Lee Ice, Hill, the Big Dog, and Ben Rico Perez. Holla at you boys.
Let's go.
Yeah, buddy. We are back. All In Sports. Lee Ice, Hill, and Ben Rico Perez. Still throwing up the deuces. Hey, man, let's just get right into it. A lot going on in the nation's capital with the Washington football team. Let's start it off with, what do you think is going on, Perez? What's really going on?
I mean, you talking about a franchise that has been dysfunctional in the front office for a long time, and what you're really getting right now is a peep into the dysfunctionality of this ball club. There's a systemic thing where these young ladies, because we're talking about the 15 women that accused the team of sexual harassment. So let's get right into it, because there's no way to do this. And that's the problem. I think the team has lacked some stability in terms of this. And it's actually starting to come through the cracks, because we had the leak 2 years ago where the cheerleaders were talking about they were in one of the islands,
Costa Rica, and that's where 2013.
Nah, I think it was 2018. I thought.
No, it was 13.
2013.
Okay, so how it plays out is you started there, and you also have a franchise, because let's get into this part where you had Scott McCloughan come into a franchise where there's been rumors of alcohol being on the premises. And I'm not going to go too far into that, but we have a guy that's a recovering alcoholic in a place that there's alcohol on the premises. The guy has a relapse, and that starts that whole thing. So what I think happened is the Washington football franchise just has an issue of controlling themselves in these situations. I'll say it that way. The Ice, Big Dog, y'all can take it from there.
I think it all started with our man, Bruce Allen, came aboard. Because when Joe Gibbs was there, and when Vinny Serrato, even though I'm not a big fan of Vinny Serrato, when they was there, none of this was, you didn't hear any type of rumor.
You're wrong, Ice, but I'll get into it when I talk.
Okay. Well, that's why we call you the big dog.
Okay.
But I think Bruce Allen has a lot to do with this. And I think that may be the person where all these leaks are coming from. Brucifer. Big Dog, go ahead.
The Redskins' trouble started when Marty Schottenheimer was there. If you listen to the guy that broke the story from the Washington Post,
hold on.
Schottenheimer got fired.
Before you continue, Big Dog.
Go ahead.
This gotta be. We gotta give it like the prop. We need music for this. Like, this is a
no
Big Dog exclusive.
No. I told y'all this. I was updating you all through the week. Was I not?
Yes, you were.
Okay.
But it's for our fans. So
right.
This is a Big Dog exclusive for the fans. Continue on, sir.
All right. So basically, it started after Martin Schottenheimer got fired. Vinny Serrato, he did 2 terms with the Redskins.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that. This was his first term. So when they hired Spurrier, which was after Marty Schottenheimer, that's when all the fun and games started. Because Spurrier didn't care. Spurrier was not around enough. And that's when they started parading people in. That's when Albert Haynesworth was getting big deals. Players got money underneath the table. Okay? The Costa Rica thing came about after Spurrier left. That came about when Zorn was there. Okay? They say they ran that thing like a frat house, prostitution, drugs were involved. A lot of stuff I'm not going to get into because there's a gag order out on it.
Let's say allegedly.
Allegedly. All this is alleged, okay? So their troubles has been going on. You're not going to sit up here and tell me, I don't care what kind of owner you are, you can be hands-on, you can be hands-off. For 13 to 15 years, you had no inkling that what's going on. That's bullcrap. I'm going to tell you why. You always got somebody ass-kissing in your organization. You always going to have somebody that's a snitch. That's going to come back and tell you shit. So you're not going to sit here and tell me you did not know what's going on. the lady that used to work for the Washington Redskins, the secretary that was that did this, she's been on TV now a lot. She was on ESPN Friday. She was on CBS this morning, and basically, she's very attractive. She says there's a lot more you just don't know about that went on there.
And she mentioned the last 10 years, which is 2010, which is when Bruce came aboard. There's no way. I mean, I'm sorry. I can't imagine any of this going on under Joe Gibbs. None of it. Joe Gibbs wouldn't have it. Okay? Joe Gibbs is the godfather. And Dan Snyder looked up to Joe Gibbs. So I heard about the rumblings between Schottenheimer and Serrato because Schottenheimer didn't like Serrato. And he said, the only way I'll take the job is you get rid of this clown. And so then, Dan, who didn't want to get rid of him, got rid of him because of Marty. But then he wasn't having fun under Marty, so he fired Marty and brought Vinny back. And then that's when they hired Spurrier, but that was a joke. And then they hired the great Joe Gibbs again.
Believe it or not, Lee Ice.
Yo.
It was going on when Joe Gibbs was there, allegedly. And a lot of stuff Joe Gibbs did not see because it didn't do around Joe Gibbs.
Mm-hmm. Big Dog.
Yes.
I'm going to be very honest with you. I think in Lee Ice's mind, Joe Gibbs walked on water. He fed 5,000 people with 2 loaves of bread and 5 fish. So you can't change his mind on that part. Hey. Like, it's just not going to happen.
7,500 people and 4 fish.
And he died and rose again 3 days later. Like, you can't get Lee Ice off of this Joe Gibbs thing. Like, that is like, there's no person in sports that loves Joe Gibbs more than Lee Ice. Like, I don't even think Linda, if that's Joe Gibbs' wife's name, whatever her name is, Joanna, whatever, she don't love him more than Lee Ice loved Joe Gibbs.
You might be right.
Now, with the stuff I'm about to tell you, Lee Ice, this is all a legend. This is the stuff I was updating Ben Rico.
BRP. Ben Rico Perez.
Okay. They started Monday night. We started with, when I hit him up, I said, the Redskins are in big trouble. This is on the same level as the Lakers, Clippers, and the Black Sox.
Yeah.
This was Monday before anybody else started saying all this stuff. I already knew what was coming down. I was trying to decipher what my man was telling me, all allegedly. Okay. I think there's a lot more to come. Get ready. So about a half hour later, allegedly, I got another text. Yep, money laundering and some Redskin organizations have passed money underneath the table and flipped it with drugs and prostitution. Allegedly. Hour later, some players got paid underneath the table, large amounts of money to keep their mouth shut. The person I'm talking to is not sure did some of the players participated in or not.
Allegedly,
he gave me 17 names.
Damn. Players?
Whoa.
Allegedly.
Then the question I asked, who is Jeff Bezos? You know who Jeff Bezos is?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know.
I know too. I know you know. You were probably, work for him or something. BR, whatever you call yourself. But
BRP, baby.
It's been rumored. This is not a legend. This has been rumored that he's been wanting the Redskins for a minute. Badly. I don't know why. When you're based out of the West Coast, why do you want the Redskins so bad?
Top franchise. One of the top franchises in the league.
Then,
whether they win or not.
Thursday morning, I get a text and I get the names. Allegedly. I'm not going to say the names, but I got the names.
Actually, I'll hold this for later.
and that was it. Because then you got Larry Mackle to retire, and all the rest of them.
There will never ever be more skin tangibles in the world of breaking down a football game. There's offense, defense, special teams, and the skin tangibles. Thanks to Larry Michael. No is.
Larry Michael had to grow on me because I was upset when he replaced my man, Frank.
You know, the worst, we're getting too far into the woods, but the worst thing I ever heard is I was listening to a game on the radio, and when Sonny and Sam, the last year they did together, good God Almighty, it was the worst radio I've ever heard ever. Like Sam didn't know where he was. Like Sonny had to keep reminding Sam what they were doing. Oh God, awful. But I'm sorry.
Hey, we need to go to commercial. We need to go to commercial break and come back with more of this disgusting act by this team.
Hey, Terry Catledge, take us to commercial.
You heard the big dog, and you heard Ben Rico Perez. We got to go to a break. And don't think that I heard the Terry Catledge, okay? We'll be right back, y'all. All In Sports, holla at your boys. Yeah, buddy, welcome back to All In Sports. Lee Ice, BRP, and the big dog Hill. When we last left off, we was talking about the Washington football team situation, the mess that is going on in their franchise. They have sexual allegations, 15 women, you got cheerleaders, rumors of drugs, rumors of money laundering, rumors of prostitution, rumors allegedly.
It's all allegedly. Hey, before we do that, I just got from my sources, as Chris Broussard would say, I just saw a thing on ESPN where since Toronto cannot play in their country, they're talking about moving to Buffalo or another location. I haven't gotten the specifics on it. Hopefully we have that information before we finish up. So I'm gonna keep my eye on the news to see what comes up. But that's the breaking news right now.
So
let's go back to the football and the Washington football franchise, who I think we want to be called the Red Wolves.
Washington mess. Because it's a mess, man. You know, I think what's your favorite rumor? I'm going to tell you my favorite one. Or allegedly, or whatever you want to call it.
Hey, let's keep using the air quotes. This is all allegedly.
Allegedly, your man, Jay Gruden, had a little beef with one of his players, Capri Bibbs.
That's not a legend. That's actual facts. That came out on ESPN. That's fact.
Oh, he wasn't fast. The issue was because Capri Bibbs wasn't a fast runner, and he didn't score a touchdown.
But he scored with something else, though, didn't
he? Yeah, he did.
He scored with something else, Jay, didn't he, Jay? But come on, Jay. Man, you that petty, man. Yes. You the head coach. You got to be bigger than that, Jay. Then he up there texting, what's the safety name? DJ Swearinger.
I still don't like him.
Huh?
I don't like DJ Swearinger.
Whether you like him or not, he played good for the Redskins. You know.
He had his moments. The only thing I didn't like about DJ was the weeks they won, he was happy. The weeks they lost, all of a sudden he always wanted to talk about the coaching staff and everything after the fact. And I'm like, yo, dog, it's either the coaching staff sucks or they don't suck. Like, stop couching this. And that's a whole different statement. So I'm gonna leave that alone. And I'm gonna let you go on. With the rest
I always wondered why Jay Gruden stayed so long. Maybe he stayed so long because he was caught up in this mess. And he knew some things. And maybe they were scared Jay was gonna walk out walk and talk.
Jay ain't dry snitching. Don't hate on Jay. Don't hate on Jay. Jay's a great play caller, and the world won't understand that because he was here in Washington. But Jay, my man. Jay, my dog. If you ever watch an episode of NFL Matchup and you watch Ron Jaworski and Merrill Hodge talk about a Jay Gruden offense, then you know what? Never mind, I'm getting off track. Go ahead, Lee Ice.
Yeah, Ron Jaworski and Merrill Hodge, two great Hall of Famers. Anyway, back to this Washington mess. It's only going to get worse, right? It's got to get worse. What you think?
Depends. I think it honestly depends on how far are we going into the woods with this story, how much we want this story to get legs and run. I mean, the greatest thing in life is money, and money can quell a lot of situations. So if Dan Snyder decides that this conversation doesn't need to go any further, some people in the media will not let the story go further. I mean, I have problems with some people in the DC media. One specifically, Mike Wilbon. I'm not a Wilbon guy. I will never be a Wilbon guy. And that's all because of the way he acted after Sean Taylor passed away.
Yeah.
He made Sean Taylor seem like he was a thug. And it was deplorable the way he used, I said that word. Sports show, DC, I'm using the word deplorable. So he was deplorable in the way he responded to the way this young man passed away. So I have no respect for Wilbon. I understand he's on a national platform, but that's always bothered me. And he can't be the person that is the face of this conversation for me. I just can't listen to him.
I agree.
That's a personal thing. That's a personal thing.
Yeah, I agree with you on how he handled that. I don't like it even more that he never apologized for his statement.
Exactly. Because all the young man did was people came in his house and he was protecting his family. And no one in this area felt the need to respect that. Him, Kornheiser, Sheehan, whoever else was on there, they disrespected that young man. And now everybody acts like the young man was the greatest safety ever. And he's a great player. So I'm not ever going to question his legacy, but it's just appalled me in that situation. And I'm sorry, I just took this all the way left. So let's get back on. Let's make a couple of right turns to get us back on the right track.
Well, the Washington football team hired an attorney to do a deep investigation of what's going on.
And that's troubling language when you're talking about sexual harassment.
How deep do you actually think they're going to investigate?
I think the biggest problem that Dan Snyder is going to have in this is I think other owners aren't going to appreciate or even understand how he's going into this investigation, because Dan has done investigations before. Dan told us that, he polled the Indians or the Native Americans and the name wasn't an issue. But when you go deep in the numbers, it's like 500 people. You can't poll 500 people out of all the Native Americans in this country and get an understanding. And that's just the issue in its own right. So I don't trust Dan Snyder to run this investigation. And I think her name is Beth Bookerson. I mean, she got credentials. She comes with a laundry list of the things she's done. And I still don't think that we're going to get the right answers from her, because this is a problem. This is systemic. This is what this team has done. And the funny thing to me is ESPN is reporting like ESPN didn't have their own issues when Berman, Tirico, and all those guys, and I'll use the air quotes for it, allegedly had their issues too back in the day. So it's funny ESPN is running with this, but it's just ironic to me and all these things that's going on.
Well, before the story came out, before the 15 women came out, everybody, I mean, you heard so much, oh, Dan might have to sell the team and all this. That's not going to happen, y'all. Dan Snyder is not selling the team. Read my lips. Daniel Snyder is not selling the team. He makes too much money. Look how much money he's making off this damn franchise as a pitiful team.
Lee Ice, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm going to get into this now. I'm going to go back to what you said earlier about, let's start with VR. You said something about the media. You have to recognize who's reporting this thing. ESPN do not, and I repeat, this is not alleging it. If you watch ESPN and listen, they do not like Washington.
They don't.
At all. There's certain teams they do not like at all. And Washington's probably one of the front runners. Dan Snyder is selling the team. It could probably happen. And I'm going to give you reasons why. The 3 majority owners have reached out to a firm in Baltimore.
Right.
To sell their stake. That's 40% of the team. They're not reconsidering. They're not backing down. They're selling their stake. Dan Snyder is not making that kind of money no more to go 100% ownership. He's not Jerry Jones no more. If this was 10 years ago, he could probably have done that when the Redskins were the number 9 franchise in the world. They're like 39 now in the world. So he can't do it. The other thing is what I listened to today off CBS this morning and YouTube News and also from Yahoo Sports that the team is in big trouble where it comes to the sponsors because there's been rumblings that Nike, and it's already happened with EA Sports where they took the name off the game. The name's not even on the game no more. So
the name's not even on. Like if you go to ESPN,
it's just Washington. Right? Yeah. So now there's been rumblings that Nike is going to be Nike or one of the Amazon is going to be the first one to pull completely out of Washington, completely, unless Dan Snyder's gone. So don't think it's not in the works. When there's a large sum of money like this involved, it takes time and paperwork.
I think for Dan Snyder to go, hear me out. Hear me out, Hill.
Okay.
The parts that you're talking about, like the other things that allegedly happen, have to come out in a piece.
Don't have to. Let me tell you why. I'm gonna tell you the same thing. Yahoo Sports said the same thing. They said the same thing what you about to say. They said I thought the same thing earlier, but Yahoo Sports said Roger Goodell already knew about this like 6 months ago. Like he knows about everything else. The only thing is it hasn't came out yet. And watch, that's like everything else. This shit's gonna probably leak out during the season or near the end of the season. Then everybody's gonna know. Then he's gonna have to force himself the team. Right now, the Washington team, women's fan base, there's none, probably. There was a protest today at FedEx Field. A lot of people didn't know that either. So, I mean, him selling the team is going to probably happen because it's a black eye against the NFL, and he's going to have to sell because it's going to open an investigation to the other 31 teams. Because it was a quote said, I'm not saying which player said this, everybody else in the league do the same thing.
Right, but it's got to come out. Like Jerry Richardson sold last year or 2 years ago in the midst
of time. We're in a different time now. The George Floyd thing changed everything, bro.
Hear me out.
Okay.
2 years ago, Richardson sold his team because of the allegations that were involved. You got to understand that the boat that Dan Snyder's in, we've already been down this boat before with Mark Cuban and the Dallas Mavericks.
Different time.
I understand, but still hear me out. If Snyder has and this is the part that kills me about Snyder, he made his money in public relations, but he sucks at public relations. Like he has to own this, and Dan Snyder actually has to talk to somebody. So he got a guy in his back pocket. And no offense to JP Finley, I like the guy. The guy's he's a good dude. He puts coleslaw on too much stuff, and he doesn't like steaks over 10 ounces. That's a whole different thing. But JP Finley or somebody like that is going to be the person that gets the interview with Dan Snyder because they're team friendly. He's not going to go to anybody else. He's not going to Chad Dukes. He's not going to Grant and Danny. He's not going to Chris Russell. He's not going to John Keim. It's got to be a comfortable interview. And that's the point where Dan Snyder may, and I'll say may, come out and say, okay, we messed up.
Time's not on your side, bro.
But
time has ran out. Time has ran out.
You know what's on his side? Money.
He don't have that kind of money right now. Anytime you get your majority owners selling, you don't have that money.
You don't have it.
You don't. It's 40% of the team up for grabs right now.
Right, but they selling, so I'm gonna get that money back.
How you gonna get it back? How you gonna get it back if they?
So if they sell their shares, they selling it to somebody, and they trying to make a profit.
It's just like if I buy them into this team, I don't want you to have nothing to do with it.
Okay, it's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be interesting the way we go down the line. We need to
try to hold on to this as long and as much as he can.
He's
they
not
gonna have to rip this like the thing I keep telling people about owning an NFL team. There's too many loopholes. There's too many windows where you can hide money for somebody to give this up willingly. And when you give it up, they gotta have the goods on you. And that's why Jerry Richardson gave up his. But Dan Snyder either is one or two things. He's a glutton or a fool. So he's either a glutton waiting for this punishment to happen, or he's a fool. He doesn't see that where you are here, the rest of the country ain't, or the rest of the world isn't there, or actually he isn't there. So he's not going to sell this team. So that's
we're going to commercial after I say this. John Feinstein said something. You need to watch back on the Junkies from this Friday. He's going to sell the team. Hey, take us to commercial, man.
All right, man. We're going to go to a commercial. When we come back, we might continue in this, or we might just get into a happier subject. All in Sports, Lee Ice, BRP, and the Big Dog. Holla at your boys, y'all. We'll be right back.
On.
Welcome back to All in Sports. JTI, baby.
Short and sweet and to the point. That's our dude, JTI. All right, y'all. We tired of talking about that Washington football mess. We're going to get into something that the Big Dog said he has something to say. So say it.
Well, today I was on Facebook, and there was a poll that came out today. And the poll was the Chicago Bulls versus the Lakers. But listen to who's on the Chicago Bulls. Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, Dennis Rodman, and Kobe Bryant versus the Los Angeles Lakers of Golden State Warriors, of Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and LeBron James. Who will win?
This is disgusting.
Man, this ain't the damn question, man. I'm asking y'all a question, man.
This is very, you know what?
Huh?
I'm appalled.
I got another one, but it's not basketball.
This is very easy. The Bulls.
Okay, that's all. That's all.
If you don't wear the purple and gold, you don't understand what
Lord have mercy. This
to
dude
be in the purple and gold.
Hey, so, we don't have a translator. We don't have a translator, man. We don't have a translator.
No. It's no translator needed. If you don't wear the purple and gold and you never worn the purple and gold, you can't. It's not a conversation. I will never address a situation where a dude that never had to come down that aisle, as Ric Flair says, when the Lakers.
Can I say something about Ric Flair right now? Because that's my next question. The question was brought out today too. I saw. What's the greatest rivalry in professional wrestling?
Oh, let's go. Let's go, baby.
What's the greatest rivalry? I said Flair Rhodes.
To me?
No.
Ric Flair versus
Steamboat.
Versus the American Dream.
I said Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes. Ric Flair versus Rhodes.
Who? Savage who?
Better.
Savage Hogan?
No. Who? The best rivalry in wrestling. Starrcade 83, Ric Flair
Harley
versus
Race.
Harley Race. That is the best rivalry ever because Harley Race put $25,000 on the line, and that was the biggest back in the 80s. The one thing about wrestling was they always put a bounty on people. And I don't know if anybody ever got paid or if anybody ever collected that bounty. But Starrcade 83 was the greatest match in wrestling history.
With all due respect to the great Harley Race.
Wait a second. Are you Geneva conventioning me?
With all due respect to the great Harley Race, there is no greater wrestling rivalry than Ric Flair versus Dusty Rhodes.
That's number 2.
You can just live off the promos alone. You don't even have to watch the matches. Just watch the interviews.
If you said 4 Horsemen versus Dusty Rhodes, that's number 1. But you can't single out any of the Horsemen because the Horsemen, whether it was Tully with the TV title and Baby Doll, whether it was Arn with the TV title and Arn, whether it was Ric Flair, that might be the greatest rivalry on its own. But if you want to put this in individual terms, Harley Race versus Ric Flair, the greatest match ever, Starrcade 83. If you don't know, then you got to go back and watch it.
We're talking rivalry, which means more than one match.
This is
Enrico.
Harley Race put $25,000 on Ric Flair's head.
I don't think you forget about Macho Man and Steamboat.
Steamboat.
Yeah. I got one for y'all. The NWO versus WCW.
No.
If you're gonna say NWO, I would say NWO versus Goldberg.
Because all it was NWO
versus Goldberg
and Goldberg.
Goldberg killed him by itself.
And that was it. And for some reason, I don't know why Eric Bischoff let this happen, but he was the biggest idiot in the world because he put the whole, like, NWO in those terms was like AAU right now. Like, they let everybody in. And they should have been elite. The NWO should have been an elite group of people that you couldn't get involved in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem the NWO had. Because they let dudes like Scott Norton or Steve Norton or whatever Norton's name was. They let Mungo in, and that was one of the worst additions to the Four Horsemen ever. Like,
that was the worst. Not one of that was the worst.
No, because Paul Roma was another one, and just god awful people in the Four Horsemen. But back onto the NWO, it's just like they just sapped up everybody and took everybody. It almost became like today's version of an AAU team, where if your mama is cute and she got a fat butt, she can get you on the team. Like, this is what NWO was.
Hey, man. Hey, Lee Ice. We out of time, baby.
Hey, man. We got to, on that note, it's time for us to get out of here before we get into trouble.
Yeah,
hey, y'all, it's been a ball dealing with y'all. We about to roll up out of here.
Rest in peace, John Lewis.
John Lewis.
Thanks for all the watching out there overseas. Thanks for all the 26,000 views we getting.
Yes.
Thanks All In Sports. Thanks all the rest of the shows. Whether you like it or you don't like it, we're the best damn thing going today. Woo!